Alfa Aesar is a leading international manufacturer, supplier, and distributor of chemicals, metals, and materials. Their products are used in a variety of research, development, and production applications. The storage facility is located at 2070 Brierley Way in Sparks, Nevada. It serves as a high-hazard storage facility for flammable liquids, flammable solids, water-reactive flammable solids, toxic, corrosive, and oxidizer classified chemicals. In all, over 5,000 different chemicals are housed in the facility. The building consists of a large warehouse structure with storage areas and offices. The Sparks Fire Department is the primary first response emergency organization. It will respond from the 1750 East Gregg Street Fire Station No. 3 with a response time of 4 to 5 minutes from the time an alarm is received at the station. The facility has complete fire suppression coverage throughout all areas. Systems include an AFFAR, aqueous film forming foam, alcohol-resistant fire suppression system for the flammable liquid storage area, an ABC dry chemical suppression system for the water-reactive flammable solids room, and wet pipe sprinkler system protection in other areas. The existing part of the facility is equipped with an ESFR, Early Suppression Fast Response Fire Sprinkler System. The building is equipped with strobe and horn strobe appliances. Beacons located outside the exterior doors to each storage area indicate which space is in alarm. An annunciator is located in a dedicated fire alarm control room adjacent to the main lobby entrance, with a graphic directory adjacent to it. The purpose of this video is to provide the viewer with an overview of the anticipated fire hazards at the facility. It gives emergency responders a detailed look of the structure, the layout of inventory, and a description of the fire suppression systems installed. Alfa Aesar has two similar facilities in Haverhill, Massachusetts, a Bond Street facility and a Shelley Road facility. Operations at the Bond Street facility are primarily repackaging of materials on site from one container to another, in a dedicated repack area for certain compounds. The Shelley Road facility expands the storage space available to Alfa Aesar. It is to be used for bulk storage of received materials. Chemicals are not to be repackaged at the Shelley Road facility, but are received for storage, typically in pails, carboys, drums, and cartons. When additional quantities are required, bulk portions of material are removed from racks and trucked to the Bond Street facility. The Nevada facility expands Alfa Aesar's ability to better serve its West Coast clients with same-day or next-day delivery of product. It will also serve as an access point to its Asian market. The 110,000 square foot building has a small office area in the front. Adjacent to that is the loading dock for receiving. Product is separated in different rooms and areas for convenience, organization, and safety based on the type of material. These are broadly classified as corrosives, acids, corrosives, bases, flammable liquids, Class 1A flammable liquids, toxics, oxidizers, flammable solids water reactive, non-hazardous. The primary method for moving product around in the facility is with manually operated or electric forklifts. Pallets are removed from trucks backed up to one of the loading docks and into multi-level racks in the adjoining spaces. Material may also be stored in dedicated cabinets. Removal of product will follow a reverse path. Chemical storage rooms have been designed for the safe storage of specific classes of materials. Each area where chemicals will be stored or transported is separated into fire protection zones. Zone 2 is a 1,000 square foot explosion-proof environment storage room designed to house hazardous waste products. Typically, materials stored in this room are discarded empty containers, used gloves, masks, protective clothing that need to be discarded as hazardous waste. Several times a week, or when necessary, a hazardous waste vendor will pick up the discarded material and properly dispose of the materials per city, state, and federal regulations. This room will also double as a repackaging station to allow chemicals in their original state to be packaged into a specified quantity dictated by the customer. This operation is done in a dedicated fume hood. The bulk material is brought into the room from The corrosives room. The corrosives room is divided into two sides by a floor-to-ceiling partition to separate base product from acid product. The corrosive bases are in Zone 3A and the corrosive acids are in Zone 3B. Product in these areas are primarily stored in plastic pails, drums, and containers that vary in size from 1 to 2 gallon containers up to 55-gallon drums. The racks are installed to create a space between each rack and any adjacent wall. Rack height varies but is generally 3 or 4 levels high. The elevation of the top level is approximately 6 feet above the finished floor. Zone 4 is a 2,100 square foot area for toxic chemicals. Poisonous liquid and solid compounds are segregated in this hazard room. Product is generally located on wooden pallets or wire rack system. The racks are installed to create a space between each rack. Rack height varies based on height limitations imposed by structural and other systems, but generally is 3 or 4 levels high. The elevation of the top level is approximately 6 feet above the finished floor. Zone 5 is a 2,000 square foot area where the flammable liquids are stored, including materials classified as 1B and 1C flammable liquids. Containers are primarily U.S. Department of Transportation rated and approved to contain the product. They are generally metal, although some containers are plastic. All of the containers are non-relieving style containers consistent with the limitations and requirements. Product is arranged in a wire rack system. The racks are installed to create a space between each rack. Rack height is up to a maximum of 6 feet above the concrete floor. Zone 6 is a 1,000 square foot area adjacent to the flammable liquids room and designated for Class 1A flammable liquids. Zone 7 is an area approximately 1,500 square feet in size housing flammable solids. Product stored in this area is primarily metal powders and chips stored in cans, metal pails, and drums that vary in size up to 55-gallon drums. It is restricted to materials that do not react with water or have a very low reaction if in contact with water in the liquid state. Product is generally located on wooden pallets or wire rack system. The racks are installed to create a space between each rack. Rack height varies based on height limitations imposed by structural and other systems, but generally is 3 or 4 levels high. The elevation of the top level is approximately 6 feet above the finished floor. Zone 8 is a 1,500 square foot area for storage of water-reactive flammable solids. The ABC dry chemical suppression system protects this room. A rubber roof protects the ceiling in the event the main warehouse sprinkler goes off. The rubber membrane will prevent water from entering the room. Product is generally located on wooden pallets or wire rack system. The racks are installed to create a space between each rack. Rack height varies based on height limitations imposed by structural and other systems, but generally is 3 or 4 levels high. The elevation of the top level is approximately 6 feet above the finished floor. Zone 9 is a 1,250 square foot area storing oxidizers. 65% of the normal inventory includes product that is, or similar in nature to, almost all of the products listed as Class 1 oxidizers. 35% of the normal inventory includes product that is, or similar in nature to, 80 to 90% of the products listed as Class 2 oxidizers. Class 3 oxidizers are not presently stored in the facility. However, should Class 3 oxidizers be placed into inventory, dedicated storage cabinets specially constructed to house this material will be provided. Dedicated containers for Class 3 oxidizers typically have the capacity to hold 4 55-gallon drums. These containers are designed to be connected directly to the sprinkler system so that the high sprinkler flow densities required for Class 3 oxidizers is limited to the storage containers rather than applied to the entire space. No Class 4 oxidizers will be held in inventory at this location. Product is primarily in the solid state and is stored in cardboard boxes, bags, and other similar smaller containers, with some products stored in 5 to 10 gallon pails. Hydrogen peroxide may be stored in plastic drums, and nitric acid is stored in glass containers. Zone 11 is the main warehouse area, approximately 91,000 square feet for non-hazardous material storage, shipping, and labeling. Loading dock area where shipments of all materials will be received. This area is equipped with a vermiculite hood for packaging of orders and a walk-in hood. Chemicals arriving in this area will be quickly moved to the appropriate storage area. Materials stored here are classified as non-hazardous and are anticipated to be non-reactive with each other or water in the liquid state. Again, storage is generally arranged in a rack system. The facility has complete fire suppression coverage throughout all areas. Systems include an AFFF-AR foam fire suppression system for the flammable liquid storage area and wet pipe sprinkler system protection in other areas. Each hazard room is self-contained with 2- and 3-hour rated walls and doors. The heating and ventilation system is state-of-the-art, allowing 6 air changes per hour and reacting to self-contain any room with a problem and isolating it from the rest of the facility. The flammable liquids and solids are each in explosive-proof environments with chemical-resistant materials on the floors and walls. The fire suppression system is an AFFF-AR foam system. UV, IR, and flame detectors act as early warning in case of an incident. The building is completely diked, housing a possible 75,000 gallons of liquid. The fire alarm system in the buildings include manual pull stations at exit discharge locations, audible visual devices for personnel evacuation of the facility, ventilation control, HVAC duct smoke detection, fire sprinkler monitoring, and municipal connection for fire department notification. Mechanical system monitoring includes duct-mounted smoke detectors to monitor supply-side ductwork of all HVAC air handlers moving more than 2,000 CFM. In some instances, this requires 2 detectors to ensure proper distances downstream from elbows, bends, and other turbulence-causing elements of the ductwork. The duct smoke detectors are provided with remote test indicator and reset buttons. These are located in corridor areas outside the space served by the associated unit and are prominently identified. The main sprinkler system and riser valves are provided with automatic monitoring of pressure, tamper, and flow status at the zone valve assembly. The mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, or MEP systems, allow the fire department to manually control the systems from an isolated control panel. From here, one can manually release smoke hatches and mechanically ventilate a room with an incident ongoing. One can also choose to do nothing and let the building's systems control the situation. The safeguards give the fire department a window of time sufficient enough so lives are not put in harm's way if a problem arises. The basis of design for the wet pipe sprinkler system is NFPA 13, with storage areas of the facility considered as ordinary hazard, Group 2 occupancy, and office areas considered as light hazard. This includes the corrosives, flammable solids, and oxidizers areas, common corridor areas, and office administrative areas. Experiences at the Alfa Aesar Bond Street facility have resulted in an internal requirement to be able to control or shut off the fire protection water supply to certain portions of the facility. Accordingly, in addition to the main sprinkler shutoff valve, portions of the fire protection system are arranged to isolate certain areas. All valves are supervised by the fire alarm control panel and are normally open. Tamper and flow valves zone isolation valves are located in or adjacent to each of the areas served by the wet pipe sprinkler system. Failure of the heat sensing element at any sprinkler head will result in immediate sprinkler operation in the affected area. Water flow within an individual zone will initiate a fire alarm via the fire detection and alarm system. The main sprinkler system and riser valves are provided with automatic monitoring of pressure, tamper, and flow status at the zone valve assembly. If the tamper switch at any system component is activated, or if the low water pressure switch is activated, this signal will cause a trouble condition on the fire alarm control panel, and its identification will be enunciated. An aqueous film-forming foam, alcohol-resistant, or AFFF-AR system provides coverage for the flammable liquid storage area. The AFFF-AR tank, foam water proportioner, and associated valves are located in a dedicated AFFF-AR foam room adjacent to the corrosive acids room and central to the location of the flammable liquid storage area. This facilitates shorter foam extinguishing agent release times once a system is activated. A single cache of AFFF-AR concentrate is stored in 2 vertical tanks, a main and reserve tank. It is used to supply AFFF-AR concentrate to the flammable liquid storage area through a dedicated alarm valve. The reserve tank would be used to protect the flammable liquids room in the event that normal operations can be restored to the space after a foam discharge. For example, the reserve tank could be used to coat the interior surfaces of the space through any open foam sprinkler heads prior to sending in firefighting personnel into the space after a foam release. The water activation valve on the side of the reserve tank is normally left in the closed position. In order to place this reserve AFFF-AR tank into service, the water and concentrate supply valves must be opened manually. The AFFF-AR system water supply for the flammable liquid storage space is arranged to allow the water supply to be shut off for the space with the use of outside stem and yoke (OS and Y) valves that can be remotely operated from inside the foam room. These are located adjacent to the mechanical room on the west side of the building. Here, one will find the fire department connection for the flammable liquids room AFFF-AR system. The valve is the fire protection water shutoff valve for flammable liquids room only. A test pipe is located here as well for testing the foam system. The fire suppression system in the flammable liquids storage area is a pre-primed AFFF-AR system. Flame detectors are located at the ceiling level. Heat from a developing fire will cause the release of the AFFF-AR solution at the local area closest to the source of heat. UV/IR detectors located throughout the space will also signal a general alarm throughout the facility. These serve only as an early warning device to summon emergency response personnel to the site based on a signal received from the fire alarm system. The control panels for the AFFF-AR equipment are located in the dedicated foam room where the AFFF-AR tanks and valves are located. This permits access for maintenance and operation of the panel without entering the spaces served. This is designed to minimize risk to responding emergency personnel if the system must be accessed for information or reset during an emergency. A dry chemical suppression system provides coverage in the flammable solids water reactive storage room. The Kitty IND system is a dry chemical fire suppression system with two types of agents. The system utilizes stored pressure agent cylinders. Stored pressure cylinders remain free of contamination, reduce the packing of the agent, provide a smooth flow throughout the discharge. The system can be activated electrically through the control panel. Cylinders are actuated from stored high-pressure nitrogen. Automatic and manual actuation is installed in this facility.